This video is on how to change the wax filter in the receiver in the ear type of aid, which is becoming one of the most popular style of hearing aids out there. And I've got three examples in front, a little bit different sizes and shapes depending upon the model and the features, but they all have the same thing in common. They all have a behind the ear portion, and then we have this small thin tube down to a receiver or a speaker that goes into the ear. And these three different ones have three different tip sizes on there depending on the size of the ear, and basically all they are is a small silicone stretchable tip that goes over that speaker. And so with that, in most of the kits that you've gotten and received, there are kind of a couple of different ways to see these filters. One, the older way is the red and blue packaging, which is only a color designation. Red is always for the right and blue is always for the left. Nothing different in size or anything. The newest packaging is just red on one half and blue on the other half. So we'll be using that as the example. Now, to access that filter, the receiver, the little cap that goes over that receiver is just stretched on there, and we need to peel that off. Just using your fingernail, just kind of work it off, and that will come off. And so what you have is the opening of the tip, and then you have access to that little receiver. Inside of this one is a red one, which just again designates the right ear. And so laying that aside, your filter packs have a little tool on them, and if you snap that little tool out, on one end is a threaded side, a little silver side, and on the other is a little flange. Basically, the filters are pressed down into that receiver. You're going to use the threaded side to screw down into that little filter, just so you can grip it, get a hold of it, and you're just going to pull it out. Okay? Now, you'll flip that little tool over. We're going to dial to a new filter. We're going to do the right one for the red. And we're going to snap a new filter. Oops. We're going to snap a new filter onto the end of that tool. And we're just going to press it down into the opening. Okay? Just being sure it's flush, but it just presses down in there. We have a new screen, no moisture, no wax or anything can get into that speaker now. We then take that silicone tip that we peeled off. Again, only goes on there one way. You got a kind of a larger opening, and then on the outside, just a small tip. But you're just going to stretch that over the receiver and just push it on there. It'll only go so far, being sure that we push that on. You can wash these little silicone tips if they get dirty. You can take them off, run them under warm water, but you do not want to do that while it's on the hearing aid. We want to be sure that the hearing aid stays dry, no moisture or alcohol, anything like that to clean things with. So that's the simple. The left side, do it the same way. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call the office. We do recommend that you replace that filter every 3 months or once a quarter. And if you want to do it monthly, that's fine. We do not charge you for the filters, so they're a very inexpensive way of keeping things clean. But any questions, either come by the office or give us a call. We'll be glad to answer your questions.